good benchmark fight for the young Saverese.
Main event coming up next. Larry Michael along with John Saraceno to Michael Buffer.
Kushner Promotions along with Corona Extra present the featured bout of the evening. This contest is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr. The three judges scoring will be Richard Strange, Paul Venti, and John Potteray. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Eddie Cotton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Donald J. Trump's Taj Mahal Casino Resort here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks and weighing in at 219 pounds. From Waukegan, Illinois, he brings a record of 24 victories against 5 defeats, 18 of his 24 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Olian Alexander. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trimmed with gold, weighing in at 236 pounds. From Greenwood Lake, New York, he's ranked number 2 by the USBA with an undefeated record of 31-0, 25 KOs, presenting Lou Saverese.
Boxers, you received your instruction in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Let's touch gloves.
All right, John, what do you think we're going to see here? Lou Saverese unbeaten, 31-0. Olian Alexander, 35 years old, 24-5 with 18 knockouts.
Well, Lou Saverese really looks anxious in his corner. I'm sure he's battling the butterflies. We'll see if he can control everything and fight his fight.
It's a big fight for Saverese because bigger paydays are ahead for him with that unbeaten record. He will get an opportunity in the not-too-distant future, possibly against the winner of the Boltnis-Schultz IBF Heavyweight Championship fight. Saverese is unranked by any of the major organizations, number 2 ranked by the USBA. And Alexander gives up a couple inches in height. Gives up about 25 pounds.
Formerly fought in the cruiserweight division. You can see he's not really a big man physically. He's put on a little weight. Lou Saverese is one big fellow, 6'5", close to 240 pounds. Actually, he told me earlier today he weighed in around 235, but he had his clothes on, so he figured he was around 232. So he's closer to 230 than 240.
Nice overhand right there by Alexander. And Alexander doesn't look 6'2" next to the 6'5" Saverese, does he?
I think that's one of those padded heights,
yeah,
Larry. You see both fighters kind of feeling each other out with the jab here in the first round.
Now, last time that Olian Alexander fought was November 5th of 1994.
A nice body work by Lou Saverese. Then he tried to come underneath and pulled down Olian with his hand.
Good left hand by Saverese. It's almost been a year since Alexander fought last. And he was knocked out in his last fight in the 7th round by Jorge Gonzalez. Remember him?
Who? The Cuban? He got cubed by Riddick Bowe. But he's going to fight again. He's not being trained by Richie Giacchetti out in Las Vegas, is Jorge Luis Gonzalez. So we haven't heard the last of him. And we know how large his mouth is.
Saverese, good body shot.
I tell you, Lou's doing some nice boxing here in the first round. He's using his jab. He's throwing different weapons, the uppercut, the left hook. He's showing he can box a little bit for a big fella.
On his toes, Saverese. Left jab, right hand.
Lou really looks focused, and there's a trick that Ali used to love to do, is to pull the guy down from behind the neck.
Good body shots by Saverese.
I thought Lou really looked nervous in his corner before the fight, but he's very composed here in this first round. He really looks focused. His concentration is good. and it looks like he's carrying out the plan that trainer Tommy Gallagher wants him to carry.
This is the heavyweight explosion on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. Larry Michael along with John Saraceno. We're at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Unbeaten Lou Saverese taking on Olian Alexander. Saverese 31-0. Saverese showing some boxing ability, John.
Nice left hook there by Lou. And Lou can box. You know, his record, of course, shows 25 knockouts in 31 fights. But we see tonight here, he can put his punches together. He's got to keep his hands up high. Tommy Gallagher reminding him that in the corner between rounds.
Saverese showing good patience.
He told Saverese, don't let this guy get brave. In other words, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let him pot shot you. Keep the jab working and fight your fight.
Alexander running a little bit now. Saverese trying to catch up. Nice right hand by Saverese.
Of course, Lou from Greenwood Lake, New York, but he does a lot of his training down in Texas. But since the fight's in Atlantic City, a lot of his family made their way down there, including his mother, Carol. He told me he had a little pasta this week and went home for a day. Doesn't look like he had too much.
Great shape, power punching. Alexander rocked a bit.
That was a nice three-punch combination by Saverese. He does it again with a four-punch job.
Alexander is wobbled. He's in some trouble. Alexander in a lot of trouble. Saverese senses it. Alexander's leg's about to go. But
Olian did a smart thing in there, and that was to grab. Don't be brave, just hold on.
He's still hurt, John.
Oh, his eyes are glazed over. You can see it.
He's one punch away from going. Saverese senses it.
Well, see, Lou's doing a smart thing there, Larry. He's going to the body to get those hands down. Then he's going to go for the shot up top.
Little pawing left hand by Saverese.
Oh, he threw one right down the pipe there, but Alexander blocked part of it with his gloves.
Oh, and right by Alexander scores to the left side of the Saverese's head. Another one.
Oh,
Saverese is rocked.
Saverese is rocked. Yep.
It's a dogfight here now, John.
And Alexander's just throwing overhand rights and throwing caution to the wind, Larry.
Another overhand right by Alexander with newfound confidence.
Lou's got to get that jab working and then drop the right hand in, just like he did there. But just what Tommy Gallagher worried about, he let this guy get brave, land a couple of big shots, and now Alexander's back in the fight.
Round 3 underway. And who'd you give round 2 to, John? I'm curious to see.
I gave it to Alexander because I thought he landed the punches that were the most effective, because Saverese was clearly rocked and unsteady more than once, twice in that last sequence. If it was amateur boxing, I would have given it to Saverese. Because not because he's an amateur style fighter. I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. But in amateur boxing, it's not the force of the blow, it's how many blows you land. I think Saverese probably landed more punches that round, but the more effective blows were landed by Olian Alexander.
Early here in round 3, Saverese trying to work the jab, the left jab, trying to establish it. He's got a clear reach advantage, and that would be a smart move.
Well, Lou is not coming back real tentative, so I guess he was able to shake off those two overhand rights at the end of the second round. It looks like he's got back into his groove, and he's doing what Tommy Gallagher wants him to do, which is to pump that jab in Alexander's face.
Alexander showing good head movement. Another right hand by Alexander, just glancing off the side of Saverese's head.
I tell you what, Alexander's doing a very smart thing, and that is he's getting out jabbed, but to slow Lou Saverese's jab down, he's throwing the right hand over the top of it, which will make Lou Saverese think twice about throwing the jab as often. Lou
right hand.
And tripling up with the jab. You know, I've often thought that Riddick Bowe, who a lot of people are calling the best heavyweight in the world, would really distance himself from the field if he would only use that jab more often and more consistent. He did it against Jorge Luis Gonzalez. It's really a weapon that's so fundamental and basic. It's the first thing fighters learn. It's the first thing they often abandon once they become headhunters and they score a few knockouts.
Saverese working the jab here in round 3, though.
And Alexander really is standing on the outside of that jab. That's not doing him any good, Larry. He's on the end of that jab. He's either got to be moving inside, letting his hands loose, or punching from the outside and moving. But he's not going to outbox Saverese from the outside like this.
Saverese using that left hand. Alexander is in some trouble, backing up.
Get ready.
Closing seconds of round 3.
Get ready for one of those overhand rights.